how you deal with your daily life. I don't have the battery, do I? Hello again. My name is Mahbubah Rajabi. I'm a digital artist, filmmaker and theatre maker, and I'm also a new mom to a baby boy called Liam. So in my previous video I talk about how I'm dealing with the postpartum at the moment, and now that Liam is gonna be 7 weeks on Monday, things got better, and I thought it would be a great time to talk about basically it's gonna get better and it's not gonna stay the same. So as you can see from the change from the previous video, I've put a bit of makeup, and I found that, you know, just the time that you put for yourself, even though you have little time, a little bit of makeup, wash your face, and you know, just dress a little bit, you know, just no, you cannot really dress a little bit because you're breastfeeding, but just get a little bit more creative dresses for breastfeeding. So in this video I want to talk about postpartum, breastfeeding and sleeping. So after giving birth, you are going through so many emotional roller coasters that I talked in my previous video, but one of the exhausting part of the postpartum is if you're breastfeeding. I want to talk about my own experience. I know that mothers who are also bottle feeding, they also suffer, you know, just the same way, because you need to feed the baby constantly, especially when you're waking up, you have to make it ready and all those problems. But because I personally am experiencing breastfeeding, so I thought it's best if I talk about that. One of the first hard part of the breastfeeding is the pain in your nipples, and the pain that you kind of want to breastfeed to your child. Just as I'm just going to check on the baby. Right. So it's painful. It's truly painful. And I remember, like, even from the hospital, I was crying so much because my nipple was so sore that got caught, and I found out that Liam is tongue-tied, exactly like his dad, my husband. But my husband never had a problem. But when a child have a problem with his feeding, you have to do something about it, and tongue-tie actually make the feeding more painful for the mother. So I remember I was crying in the hospital, and when I came home, and it was so hard. But I got help and support from the breastfeeding team. I really recommend you to also, if you're having any problem with your breastfeeding, please get the support from the Breastfeeding UK. Just search for them in the Google, and in any city you are, you know, just search for them, and they're really helpful across the UK. And I'm really thankful to them, because the midwife suggests a nipple shot for me, and until I've got the appointment for removing the tongue tie, I could manage to continue breastfeeding my child. But breastfeeding is exhausting, and you don't have much sleep. So you don't have much sleep, you are in so much pain, and you have to breastfeed, which also make you more tired, because you need energy to do the breastfeeding. And actually you lose up to 500 calories a day, so you actually need to eat, you need to be you know, really full of energy. And if you're not, it's gonna make you more and more tired. And when you're tired, it makes you also sad, not happy, which you don't want to be in this stage. You're a new mom, you want to do everything with this creature, and it's just not getting into the right, basically, situation. So but the thing is that it's gonna get better. I remember when I've had so much pain during my breastfeeding, I was thinking, this is the end of the world, I don't think it's gonna ever change. But it changed. I never thought that I'm gonna do breastfeeding without any pain. There is pain because you're making milk, and it's gonna be a little pain and a sore, very little, it's just nothing. And I'm sure that when it's even gets into the later weeks, it's gonna even get more settled. So I just want to say that you're gonna get more routine every week. So you might feel that you're so exhausted, you wake up in the morning, you don't even remember the last time you wash your face, you don't even remember the last time you actually kind of eat a proper meal, because you're constantly feeding the baby. And all of that is struggle is going to get better, because day by day you will understand your baby more. And one of the big suggestions that I want to give now is that you have to look at the child and listen to the child, at what the child wants. In that case, you can respond better. For example, I just have to know that while Liam is crying, sometimes it's wet nappy that I don't even kind of think about, and then I realize, oh my goodness, even though it's only be like 2 hours, it might be like full of week, which it is, because I was constantly feeding him. And then, but I didn't think that, okay, you don't have any pain in your stomach, you've been fed, what is wrong with you? And then it makes you just you want to cry yourself. But no, it's actually something maybe really simple. But also some little babies may have problems with colic, which, because their stomach is getting developed, they have this pain, which they cry, but it just gets settled, because they'll cry in a just a time that you might know the next day that, okay, this is the time. Or when you feed them, you've kind of realized they've got a bit of reflux in the tummy, just all of that, you will control it, which is the best feeling in the world, when you get the routine with your baby, which I have now. And as you can see, I've got, sometimes I thought that just the best thing that would make me happy is to have a bit of makeup, just look after myself, read my favorite book, watch my favorite drama, eat a healthy meal. Please make sure that you're eating really healthy, especially if you're breastfeeding. That's gonna boost your energy up. And just make sure that you look after yourself, even though it's hard, and it will make you much more happier to deal with the routine of the baby. It's a 24-hour job, and you realize it and understand it more. So at the moment, I'm still just sleeping. Going back to sleep. So at the moment, you might feel like it's just too much. And especially if you're with a newborn, and now, for example, for me that it's winter, you cannot really go out. It's just best to make sure that you're not going to crowded places, to make sure that there is no virus for the baby. Just make sure that when the baby gets 8 weeks, and after that start to go out. But again, especially if the people are not well, don't let them to kind of come near the baby and all of that. So you might stay at home, and if you're a very active person like myself, it can be quite hard, but at the same time, you need to enjoy it, because this time will also pass. So what I've done, as I also talked in my previous video, I've made simple tasks every day, and what I found is that I don't need to do them in the exact day. Trust me, I found that in my little notebook I have tasks that I couldn't do, so I have to postpone them for the next day, which is fine. At least I feel productive. And trust me, you will feel so much better when you even do 3 little tasks: taking a shower, read 5 pages of my favorite book, and having 2 healthy meals during the day. And I always love to kind of make sure that after my meal, like 1 hour after, I have my coffee with my treat, like a chocolate or something, which I love. And I always kind of you used to enjoy in your alone time. But when the baby is asleep, if you don't get enough sleep, please have some sleep with the baby. It makes a huge difference. If you've got more than 1 child, sorry, I know that is so difficult, but make sure that you also sleep with your child, and the next round of the sleep of the baby, relax and do the things that you love to do, like do some makeup, wash your face, read a book, and trust me, you will feel so much better and productive. And regarding sleeping, I found something amazing, because I was a person that if I didn't have my 6 hours sleep, at least, for example, if I had like 5 hours and a half sleep during the night, I would feel terrible during the day. I would feel like I had a huge stone on my head. I feel like, oh my god, I cannot function. And now I am fully functioning with sometimes 4.5 hours. That was in, basically, it was a break, 4.5 hours. It means that I had 2 hours feeding the baby, 1 hour changing the nappy. Maybe he was awake and I had to play with him until he goes to sleep again, and another 2 hours. So, and I'm functioning, and I think, to be honest, that my body is responding to these changes, and your body knows what is happening, and I think that's why I have that power, and it's another superpower of being a mother, which I found really fascinating, because I I feel different. It just completely new phase in life, which I adore, but at the same time, God, it's because you will get exhausted, and it's very, very hard, just to do things in order, and sometimes you feel like, oh my god, like I'm feeding the baby hours and hours, and you look at the time and you feel like, oh my goodness, it's night time. The only thing I could do is just go into the toilet. But it gets better, because you will get to know then you understand the routine, the timing of the baby. The great thing about the baby is that they get into the routine. One of the things that I want to suggest about the sleeping is that make sure that you have night routine for the baby, because the baby understands that routine. For example, you swaddle for Liam, because I found that he sleeps so much better at night. And so when it's come to going to the bed and we want to prepare him, I feed him. I just have the 20 minutes having him on my shoulder and try to get the burp. Please do that, because you don't want to put them on a sleep less than at least 20 minutes, because it's always going to be that hidden burp that kind of wakes them up. So and when we go to, he knows his bed, and I'm sure just the babies will know the bed. And make sure that you kind of going to the bed is only happening at night time. It helped them to understand the differentiation between day and night. That's what I found myself. So when he goes, and then when I do the swaddle, he knows that now that it's night time. So when you do a routine, some people give their babies a bath. I don't like that much myself, because of their skin, and you don't want to make it like basically it's gonna make their skin dry. That's what I found, and I don't want to kind of give him bath every night. But I think it depends. It's really personal, that whatever you want to do with your baby is fine, because you're a mother and you know what's best for your baby. And if you have a routine at night, the baby will get to know that this is gonna be happening, and it's happening every night. During the night time, I've watched a lot of sleep training. Okay, I think I need to do the sleep training one in another video, because the baby is awake now. But I'm so happy that I've done this video. So thank you so much, and hopefully see you in the next video.